song this month, Right Where I Belong. I think it's on the back of that same sheet.
1, 2.
I'll sing the verse.
1, 2, 3.
Diane and I will
4.
sing the verse. And come in on the chorus or join in on the verse as you feel comfortable. Look at this glorious morning. Why ask for anything more? I follow where my heart leads. I walk through this open door. I've always been a seeker, felt I was alone. Now in this room full of smiling faces, I know I've found my home. This is where joy lives. This is where love is. This is the place where I am strong. This is where eyes meet, where kindred hearts beat. I am right where I belong. Here in this place I'm accepted. I'm welcome just as I am. I'm ready to be inspired, to reach out a helping hand. This is a new beginning. I trust in the mystery. Now that my heart is opened, there's no place I'd rather be. This is where joy lives. This is where love is. This is the place where I am strong. This is where eyes meet, where kindred hearts beat. I am right where I belong. This is where joy lives. This is where love is. This is the place where I am strong. This is where eyes meet, where kindred hearts beat. I am right where I belong. I am right where I belong. I am right where I belong. Thank you.
In the beginning was the one presence of the undivided and unmanifest pure spirit of life, love, and light. In its generosity, it shared itself, its consciousness, and its love in the visible form of creation. We acknowledge this presence within us and as us. The creative energy of the divine feminine and masculine expressing in, as, and through us. This creative energy of the divine feminine and masculine expressing in all our giftedness and creativity. We acknowledge this in our companion Mother Earth and in all sentient beings. This universal presence in everything we call the Christ. We light this candle as a visible reminder of the Christ presence expressing in, as, and through us in this present moment now. It is the truth. Let us own it. And good morning. Thank you so much for being with us today. Today we welcome our wonderful guest musicians, Quiet Fire. Thank you so much for being here today. We love you. We love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you. Shalom. And I want to welcome everybody who's at home. So before we start our greeting time, if we could just turn to the camera back there and wave to our online friends. Thank you so much for being online with us today, and we do hope to see you in person one day soon. And now if you'll just turn to your neighbor and greet them for just a moment, we will go ahead with that. Thank you. And we do have plenty of time to do that following the service because Harvey and Marilyn have provided pie and coffee. So that's a great time to continue our greeting time. And we are a joyful, evolving spiritual community committed to spiritual practices, compassionate service, and living on purpose. This is our mission. And I'd like us to get centered now as we prepare to say our 5 principles of unity. If you don't know them by heart, they are on the inside of your bulletin. So let's take a deep breath. Gently releasing any stress, and let's say together, God is good and present in all things. The holiness of God is my own true nature. I am creating my experiences by how I think. My thinking is guided by my daily affirmative prayers and affirmative actions. I follow and am sustained by these values in every day. And so it is. So now as we prepare for our time of prayer and meditation, please hold these words of the meditation hymn quietly in your heart.
1, 2, 3.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper.
truth of it. We pray, we sink. And as we pray, we fall deeper into that heart space, that place within us that's connected, that place within us that resonates with the truth of the deepest part of who we are, the truth of who we are, the fullness of who we are, the abundance of who we are, and the peacefulness of who we are. When we pray, we sink deeper, and I ask you now to sink deeper still into your heart space, that temple of your own being, that place where we can retreat to and say, here we are. Now we're connected. Now we're in that place of harmony. And we're invited into that place of prayer, even on days we don't quite feel like it. Even on those days we say, I know there's a place of connection, but I'm just struggling to find it. I'm struggling to feel the full resonance. I'm struggling to feel that harmonious place of connection. And yet, by sinking into that place, we allow our hearts to go deeper, our consciousness, our focus to go deeper, and we trust. And we trust that the Spirit of God that is alive in us, that is alive through us, that indeed is the very breath and presence of us, hears our prayer, knows our prayer, indeed is the one that is doing the praying through us. And so we call upon now the power of imagination and focus. Can we imagine and let our imagination go forward and see the truth of our being, of our wellness? If our prayer intention is one of healing and health, we let our imagination go forward and know the truth of seeing the perfect outpicturing of wholeness, which is eternal to our nature. And if our prayer has to do with financial issues, we allow and we imagine our attention going forward and pulling in the fullness of the truth of abundance and fullness and allness that is essential to our nature. And if our prayer is for, in some way, feeling disconnected with others or with community, we allow in our imagination, we see our situation where we are connected and in full harmony with those we may feel disconnected with. And we trust Spirit to go forward, to embrace, to hold, to gather, to connect. And so in that space of energy of abundance and of wholeness and of connection, we recall the people and the issues that we might be praying for specifically, and we bring them into this prayer energy now. Forever we are praying for, whoever or whatever, please feel free to say their names out loud right now. I pray for Michael, for Kathy, for Becky. And for all these prayers, for all the people we mentioned, and for all the prayers that are in our hearts, perhaps still forming, we allow them to just sit here in this resonance at the temple of our hearts. We know they are heard, we know they are being breathed through us, and we trust in the power of Spirit to continually unfold the good in our lives. And we take this energy now and sink into a time of meditation.
Let us continue to rest in the comfort and peace of the stillness. Take a few deep cleansing breaths as you settle more deeply into your chair. Release any physical tension as you just let go of your concerns and worries. Just breathe into any space of tension and let it go. Affirm quietly to yourself, the power and presence of God are so clear to me, the world and its troubles seem to melt away. The power and presence of God are so clear to me, the world and its troubles seem to melt away. Take another deep breath as you release more deeply and relax more deeply, allowing your concerns to quietly melt away. I joyfully let go of fear as I let the love of God flow through me now. Peace abides deep within me. It knows no fear, no worry, no concern. I keep my thoughts focused on God. Great peace and joy fill me when I focus on God, and my heart overflows with love. I center myself in peace and feelings of well-being, and I focus on the peace of God. My spiritual connection guides me in my activities and interactions, keeping me calm and kind, balanced and unflappable. I meet all circumstances with calm and poise, rising above annoyances and discord. I respond thoughtfully and act gently, drawing my patience and perspective from my focus on God, my source of love and light. I focus on the world I wish to see. I focus on the love, peace, and perfection of God all around me and always within. By focusing on divine love, peace, and perfection, I help manifest them in my life and in the world. Love is the essence of who I am, so I use the power of love in my life every day. I look at the world through the eyes of love and focus on the good I want to see in the world. Love is the essence of who I am, and I'm able to call upon the power of love in every moment. And as we gently return our attention to this time and place, hold God's love for you gently in your heart and share it with the world. And so it is.
Chains round your soul.
carry you home, carry you home. Rest your heart easy, carry you home.
When you can't speak, 'cause the words are too strong. Every time that you try, it just comes out all wrong. Your heart screaming out, no one can hear your song. I'll sing it for you, I'll carry you home,
carry you home, carry you home. Rest your heart easy, I'll carry you home. Wander this world now, fearless and free. Climb every mountain and sail every sea. But if you get lost out in the great unknown, Spirit will find you to carry you home. Carry you home, carry you home. Rest your heart easy, carry you home. Carry you home, carry you home. Rest your heart easy, Spirit will carry you home.
It's like with spirit, you're looking to find that way home. You're on an adventure and you're looking for something that's deep within that transforms, and we're looking, and it's like a treasure hunt. And we all like the idea of a treasure hunt, all our great stories. Where are we going to find that treasure? And you just have to keep seeking, right? Till you find it. Because, you seek until you find. And when you find, you might be disturbed, right? You remember this. But then you'll be amazed. And you will rule over the all. Not ruling over somebody else, ruling over the all of our consciousness, of our own internal design, of our own internal life process that's unfolding before us. So we seek and we seek until we find that treasure, that buried treasure. And this doesn't look like your normal treasure box, but Diane gave this to me years ago and said, here's a little treasure box. And there was some great little treasures in it. Tell him I'm talking right now, Meryl. We'll call him back later. It's okay, you're fine. So here we got the treasure box. We seek and we find. And it's this beautiful it's not much in here, but a beautiful saying that I want to share with you. I shouldn't say it's not much. It's a very simple little saying that I put in this treasure box. And this particular saying comes from pre-Quran in Islamic tradition. You won't find it in the Quran itself, but it's from the sort of the mystical tradition, the wisdom tradition in Islam. And you know what you find is in all the traditions, Christianity, Judaism, Buddha, Taoism, Islam, there's always this sort of mystical wisdom element that's flowing through it all. And here's what this beautiful saying says. It says, and this is the voice of Allah that's speaking through these words, I was a hidden treasure. I was a hidden treasure, but I love to be known. I love to be known. So I created a world, both visible and invisible. Maybe you find and you're disturbed, like, what the heck does that mean? But this is a really powerful, powerful piece, because what it's saying is the divine says, I want to be known. I don't want to be not connected. We are one of the same essence. And that very essence of divinity, that divine energy, that inspirited energy wants to be understood. So it's not an understanding that's in the invisible plane only. This energy created a world that's visible and invisible. And so this stuff of the visible world of forms that are showing up are here because the divine wants to be known. Well, there's lots of people who will say, well, why are we here? You hear things like, well, you're here, I don't know, for a test. You're here to figure it out. And if you get it wrong, oh boy, you're in trouble. You know, in this world, in this language of the wisdom tradition, it's never about, right and wrong per se. It's certainly not about, and you hear this a lot, the saved and the condemned. The saved and the condemned. Who got it right, you're okay. If you didn't get it right, well, yikes. Oh, it like hurts to even say that. God did not send the essence of the divinity, which is called in the Gospel of John the Son energy, the energy of the child of God energy, the energy of the Enchristed being that we all are. God did not birth this energy of the Christed energy in each of us to condemn anybody. It's so that the world can be renewed, transformed, redeemed, changed into something that is on the trajectory of the magnificence of what it means to be a human being. God did not say, here's condemnation. God only said, and God doesn't say, God's not a thing, but so you understand, the energy of the divine shows up for the transformation and the good of all, never for condemnation. This beautiful little saying, God wants to be known. The divine energy wants to be known. So the world of both visible and invisible was created. We get to play in both. Here's the important thing. We get to play in both. Here's the good thing. We get to play in that energy of the spirit that is beyond what is apparently obvious at first glance in the material world. And at the same time, we get to play on the plane of material world. We get to show up as form. We get to show up as this blessed and sacred form of things. And this wisdom tradition goes on and on in the Tao. In the Tao, this sense of what is the Tao, it's not exactly what we would say synonymous with God. It's the energy it's the energy of the eternal, of the all that shows up. In the Tao, it says the Tao is empty. It's not there, and yet it's all there. It's inexhaustible. It says it's bottomless. It's the ancestor of all. The Tao is hidden. It's invisible, but it's always present everywhere. All these great traditions. Aldous Huxley talked about this in his book. He called it the perennial wisdom, the perennial philosophy, the wisdom tradition that you can find in all the traditions everywhere you go, in Christianity and Judaism, in the Tao, in Islam and Buddhism. Everywhere you go, you see this same understanding that this eternalness showed up into the material finite world. And we've talked about this many times, we stand in both worlds at once. We get to play in both worlds at once. And sometimes we get trapped and we think just the material world, and it happens all the time. And then we forget that we also stand in the world of the invisible, the world of the eternal, the world of the spirit. Here's an example. This is an actual true story someone told me the other day, and I thought about it and thought about it. So there's a woman who decides to go to the farmer's market. And on the way to the farmer's market, she goes, what do I got? Let me see, I got $30, and I got another $3 in change. $33 is what she told me she had. And so on the way there to the farmer's market, there was this corner on the street. And for some reason, it was a great place. It had like some woods, and it had like a little creek, and people loved to take their stuff and dump it. And there was tires, and there was garbage, and there was trash. So this local community, these folks, they were a little Vietnamese community, they decided to put a little shrine to the Buddha on this corner. And so they built this shrine, and they put it out there, and people would come along and light candles, and they had incense, and they just had a place where they collected money to keep this going. They'd repaint it, and it kind of grew, and it was really nice, and people go by, and they put flowers. And all of a sudden, this corner in the neighborhood that used to be a total junkyard kind of area turned into this beautiful little place for people to take a breath and slow down. So this person's on her way to the farmer's market, got her basket. There's that Buddhist shrine. She has $33. So she counts out all her change, about $3 worth, and she just leaves it there at the shrine. And taking a minute, catching a breath, and just centering. Who am I? Who am I in this world? Who am I in this neighborhood? And can I take a breath and connect with the energy that's looking for connection? I still got $30 left. What can I do at the farmer's market? So she goes to the farmer's market, and there was these turnips. What the heck's that? What do you do with turnips? But she got turnips, and she got greens, and she got these collards, and she got some dino cal, and they got some carrots, and got some potatoes, and the basket was just, can you imagine this? The basket was starting to grow with color and different forms and shapes, and it was just really beautiful. And at the very end, she had just $3 left, and this huge basket of vegetables and food, and she goes over, and she sees they're selling scones, and they're like $2.50 each. And she says, I just have $3 left. You got any old broken ones? And they go, yeah, here's all the broken ones. Just take them for $3. Out of money. She gets 2 broken scones in bags. And as she's walking, there's Bill. And she knows Bill because he's a homeless person that seems to come to the farmer's market a lot. She says, we're in luck. Scones today. And she passes a scone to Bill, who's just like, I love scones. And he gets his scones. And then she goes home with her food. And when she gets home, she gets on the phone. And she said, hey, to one of her friends, you wouldn't believe what I got at the farmer's market today. And her friend goes, you wouldn't believe I went earlier. I got some rosemary bread, and I got these bagels, and I got some dessert, and I got this great coffee, and I got some other. She said, I'll put on some soup, and you bring over your stuff, and let's have a quick potluck. She goes, well, I got a friend over too, and they're going to come, and they got some dessert, and they got cake. And next thing you know, in the afternoon, they were sitting out on the porch, fresh coffee, they had some wine, they had this beautiful soup that they made. Oh my God. $33 at the farmer's market. A little blessing, a little support, a little love, and a beautiful afternoon. Great story, huh? There's another woman, I don't know this person, but I can imagine this. She decides to go to the farmer's market with $33. That's not very much. What the heck am I going to do with $33? And why do these people, what do they think this is, a church? They put their shrine right in the middle of the sidewalk, but people are trying to walk by there, and they put their stuff, and who are these people? And they don't even speak English. What is going on here? And I put some Buddhist stuff, and oh my God, these homeless people. Why don't the cops get rid of these people? They just bug me, walk into the farmer's market. $33, man, that's not I need some money, man. I can't do anything with that. So I'm walking through, and I'm a bag of potatoes and some bread, and there's a food cart. I can get a whole lunch for $18 with coffee. So I'll go spend $18 on one lunch, and then I get my little bag, and I go home, and it's like, man, everything's just so expensive. How am I supposed to do anything? Go home and sit by myself and grumble. What's the difference? It's consciousness. It's all in consciousness. It's all how we choose. I mean, person one is living in this place where she's living in the realm of both the invisible and the visible. She's living in the realm where she goes with a sense of abundance and a sense of fullness and a sense of wholeness and a sense of wellness and a sense of connection and a sense that I am one with it. Well, I'm in the game. And this homeless person and these people put up this beautiful shrine. We're all connected here. We're all part of the same energy. We're all out picturing the divine potentiality and all these amazing ways. And look at this basket of colorful food, and thank you farmers, and thank you world, and thank you earth, and thank you. So much gratitude, and having friends over, and it's just this exuberance. This is all in consciousness of connectedness, knowing from her perspective, and this is this perennial philosophy, I live in both worlds. And no matter what the appearance of the finite world is, and by definition, what's in the finite world always changes. Oh, you want to know what's spiritual and what's the finite? Well, does it change? Or is it eternal? And I live in the internal energy of things at the same time living with the finite energy of things, both at once. Person one knew that, explored it, lived it. It had a great, afternoon. Person two, sat alone and had a cheese sandwich by herself. I don't know, and maybe that's good, but you see the point. It's the sense of this perennial, and all these great teachers that we know, the ones we sort of lean into, they know this wisdom tradition. So here's what I want to share with you. Part of the, listen. Okay, so you think about, well, I could see how I could apply that in my family, or when I come on a Sunday community, or in my small group at work, or yeah, maybe if next time I go to the farmer's market down in Bellingham, I'm going to go with a different consciousness of abundance. Yeah, I can do that. But does it stop there? Or can this energy of connection and abundance and oneness and fullness and being in the world and realm of spirit all at the same time, can it be applied to a bigger perspective as well? So I was reading the newspaper the other day. It's just so funny. And I was thinking of this story, and they asked a bunch of, progressives, conservatives, moderate, just a whole spectrum of who we are as human beings, showing up in different ways, showing up and expressing in different ways, finding different ways of expressing our divine understanding, and across a spectrum of ideals. So they asked all these people, here's the question. One word to describe what you think the condition of our country is right now. Are you ready for this? And think of these two people at the farmer's market and figure out who we are. Oh, we're poor. We're struggling. We're confused. We're uncertain. We're depressed. We're miserable. We're divided. We're divided. Divided. And what is the perennial philosophy say? Yeah, we show up, let me finish this, shaky, unstable, polarized, dire, dismal, all in division. I mean, which one of those people does that represent? Going to the farmer's market. And it's just like, but they're onto something there. Because the word I heard, every other word was divided, and disconnected. And in the world that we're talking about, in this tradition that's the wisdom tradition, it's all about a sense of we show up, we're one, and yet we manifest, and we get to play in different ways. We get to show up. We got different Myers-Briggs. We got different Enneagram. We show up in this whole flavor, but in the essence of us, in the spiritual truth of us, in that place that's the invisible connection of us, we are one. And the joy is we get to show up at one, expressing at the God at the point of me. And you show up expressing God at the point of you. And there's nobody different than any of you. There's no one different than me. Each of us is a totally unique, never going to come again, never was before, never will be again, expression of the divine, only only showing up at God's great pleasure to say, I get to show up this way and that way, as you and as you and as you, and we put them all together into this great explosion like a bouquet of flowers. And you could say in the bouquet of flowers, well, that's one flower, that's another flower. Yeah, but it's a bouquet. It's one garden. It's one thing. And so we see the oneness of us, even as in form, we outpicture in all sorts of various colors and shapes and sizes and flowers and, and we see, like, if we micro it, it seems like there's all these individual things, and as we span back, we see the oneness and the beauty and the allness. It's like when the astronauts took that picture of Mother Earth, that globe sitting out there, and they went like, it's just us. It's just us. We might break it into little things, but it's really just the one. And that planet is one with the whole galaxy. So that God says, I want to be known. So I'm going to create in the visible and the invisible. So there is a beauty and a joy and a purpose at showing up as who we are, with all the variance and varieties of who we are, the varieties of religious experience, the varieties how we see the world, the varieties of, and so this isn't something to be fighting about. It's something to be joyous about, the bouquet of things. You could ask, what's the state? It's like, man, we're evolving. We are moving like a blender through and creating something new in potentiality and what's possible. There's all sorts of new possibilities of harmonious connections on the horizon. Should we be willing to go there and embrace it? Or do we fall back into the realm of of divisiveness that says, you're different than me, and you're different than me, and why those people put that statue up, and who let those homeless people, and why, all the divisiveness, instead of seeing and relaxing into our unity consciousness. So I'm not just to leave this with this concept, but what might be a tool? What might be a tool to catch ourselves when we're falling out of that sense where we're only on the material, we're only on the finite level of things, and we're missing the invisible, the all, the depth, the connectedness to the all that's also part of our truth. Well, we've been doing a book called How to Pray Without Talking to God. And for those of you who are in it, you know, man, this book is rocking our world. It's so amazing. And this particular chapter, she talks about something we've all heard about many times before, but let's just refresh ourselves. It's denials and affirmations, and how to pray with denials and affirmations, and what that all means. And she gives a really simple formula I want to share with you because it just makes so much sense. And let's say, pick a subject like maybe not feeling well. So what's the facts? Start with facts. It goes facts, feelings and thoughts, beliefs, and then stating truth. There's the formula. So what's the facts? I woke up this morning and I don't feel good. No one's denying that. You know what I'm talking about. You just go, I don't even want to go out today. I'm just not feeling up to it. That's a fact. I mean, there's no denials. Don't say, that maybe we don't feel good. And sometimes into our life in this finite world, colds come and flus come and other things come. That's the reality. And so what's the feeling? Now that's where it starts getting tricky. Because I feel like you can have a choice. And we can start get into where our feelings are coming from, because there's underlying beliefs for how we're feeling. You could be like, I just feel like, I guess it's my turn. It'll be here, and then it'll be gone, and I'll be back to doing things in a couple days. I'm just feeling kind of mopey, and I'm just going to rest, and it's over. Or I could be feeling like, it always happens to me. It's always me. I knew this was going to happen. That guy the other day I saw walking on the street sneezed when I walked by, and I knew I was going to be the one to get sick. I knew it. And so what's the underlying belief? Do The underlying belief may be, I live in a world where my human body, there's these activities in an evolving world that includes microorganisms, and I got a cold, and I'm on the healing path, and I'm well, and I'm whole, and I've got medicine, and I got a good doctor, and this shall pass, and I'm just going to move forward, and maybe it's a time for me to slow down. I got this. I didn't want it, but I had a book I wanted to read. This is a great opportunity to make some soup. I think I'll just do some art. I'm just going to relax. I'm going to shut down. My body wants to reset. I believe that it's time just to take a break, and I'm okay with that. Or, you want to try? You guys can make this up too, you know where I'm going. If people would just be more conscious about not sneezing in my face, and if the people are just, this always happens to me. It's happened to me since I was a child, and I'm always the one to get sick first, and it just isn't fair, and why does, God pick on me? And, you make up the story yourself. What's that? Wah, 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 wah. So there's the facts, and no one wants to deny the facts. I mean, that's spiritual bypassing. You don't feel good, you don't feel good. That's true, And then there's the feelings, but under the feelings, we got to start looking at what's the belief system that's running. You feel what you feel, but a lot of those feelings are being driven by something in our unconscious, and we may or may not even be aware of what tapes are running there and setting up those feelings so that we respond to the situation in a very different way. The two people go to the farmer's market, respond to their $33 in their pocket in a very different way. Same farmer's market, same $33, same vegetables, same situation, two drastically different experiences because what we allow in our consciousness to outpicture. And so we could do that, like going through the health thing again, we could make a denial. We can find ourselves getting into wah, 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 and we could say, what could we say is the truth? I deny that, what did Myrtle Fillmore say? I don't inherit disease. I do not inherit illness. People kept saying to her, you've got tuberculosis. Your family had tuberculosis. You get tuberculosis. You just got it. Sorry, this is going to be the end of you. And she said, and she did, we do this thing in Unity. It's a beautiful little song. Every little cell in my body is happy. You know this one? Every little cell in my body is well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is happy and well. COVID broke out at Unity Convention. You might have known this. Shanae and I know it. So we ended the Unity Convention, 600 people. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is happy and well, We just state that our cells can regenerate. Our cells are whole. Our cells know the pathway to their healing. My truth is that I am full, but before I do the affirmation, the disease does not have control and determination of my well-being. That doesn't change the fact that I don't feel good. But it doesn't have the control of my well-being and how I am going to show up and how I am going to determine the experience of my life. That is under my control, on the infinite power, on the spiritual power of my reality. I have control of that. And it is my nature through prayer meaning practice denials and affirmations. And then we can do an affirmation on top of it. We're in bed and we're going, you know what? I'm just going to affirm that wellness is mine. Wholeness is mine. Transformation of consciousness is mine. Am I in bed for a week? I am. But I'm going to affirm that the goodness of the divine has never abandoned me, is always with me, and the very goodness is in this situation and flowing through this situation and allowing this situation to help me to transform in a new way of consciousness and a new way of seeing, even as difficult as it is. God so wanted to be known that the divinity created a world both invisible and visible. And it's not this sense of I can't wait to get out of this visible world and then there's some eternal world where then everything's okay because it's not okay now. It there is a sense of, there is a opportunity to know the depths of our spiritual potentiality because we've shown up incarnate in a material world that would not exist if we hadn't shown up this way. There is a phrase that the angels who are not incarnate, look at humanity who showed up in physical form with envy. You get to have choices. You get to experience. You get to have these feelings. You get to love with the risk that that love will not be returned, with the risk that the loved one may leave you, with the probability that if you love long enough, one of you is going to be gone first. There's a real other side of this wanting to love, which is that it ends someday for us. And so because the stakes are so high and we step into them, we go, this is the fullness of connection and love that would not have been possible in any other way. The fullness of what's possible. Because I'm in the world where I'm taking the eternal love, which isn't always things, and I'm expressing it in this finite world with very unique individuals in very unique ways. And that can't be forever because it's on the finite plane. But the truth of the love that's on the infinite plane is always true. It is always eternal. It will always be there. And we dance between these two worlds all the time. And that's the fun and the joy of being human. And the path, this spiritual path, oh my God, I am so off my talk right now, but this is so good. The spiritual path, I told you guys, winging it a little bit, but I want to end with this. This path, this wisdom path, let me end with this. The wisdom path is not a path of ascension. The wisdom path is not a path of, I can't wait to get out of this so I can go to a higher spiritual place. This deep wisdom path that you see in the Tao, that you see in Christianity, that you see in Judaism, that you see in Buddhism, that you see in Hinduism, that you see in all the great world traditions, is the wisdom tradition within those traditions is not a path of getting out of it, it's a path of going into it. It's a path of deepening. It's a path of saying, I'm claiming this thing of humanity, and I will live in a way as a human being at once in truth to both the trueness of the fullness of how I can express my point of the divine, of God showing up as me into my reality that I have shown up with on this physical plane. It's a path of standing at that crossroads, this is the experience Jesus showed, standing at that crossroads of fully saying, I am here now to experience the fullness of the experience that I can experience. And in those experiences, in whatever comes my way on this plane, I will also stand in the truth of the infinite world, and I will stand at that crossroads, and I will be the fullness of potentiality when I don't try to go to spirit with up and ascend, but I stay right here where spirit shows up in the fullness of my humanity, in all its joys and all its pains and all its trials and all its goodness and all its sadness and all its struggles and all that. We're not denying the reality of what it means to show up on planet Earth. Sometimes it's very painful. And yet, we have the choice to deal right there at that place and experience the fullness. God showed up, the hidden treasure. God so wanted to be known, so wanted to know. You want to know what God is? I want you, God says, to know me. And to really, really, really know me, we show up as both invisible and visible. And then we get the fullness of what it means to be fully alive human being. We can be this. We can be this, right? Okay. Blessings.
Now we come to the time in our service where we have the opportunity to share our blessings. So if the ushers would please come forward. We're always grateful for your generosity, however you may give it. And I just want to remind you, as you take your gift to your heart, or if you take the memory of the gift that you sent online or are sending online, hold it to your heart and affirm quietly to yourself, I give freely and joyfully, for God is my source, and I have abundance in all areas of my life. And let's say our offertory blessing together. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I need your sweet inspiration. I need you here on my mind every hour of the day. Without your sweet inspiration, the lonely hours of my life just don't go my way. Living in love is sweet inspiration. Yes, and that's all I ask. That's all I ask from you. I've gotta have a sweet inspiration. You know there's just no telling what living in love can do. When I get on my knees and pray, I get some sweet inspiration. When I'm sure I'm going the wrong way, I trust in sweet inspiration. When I'm out on the road in a bad situation, you know I just reach back in my mind, and there I find your sweet, sweet inspiration, inspiration. Oh, what a power. I've got the power every hour of the day. I need your sweet inspiration to go on living, to keep on giving this way. When I get on my knees and pray, I get some sweet inspiration. When I'm sure I'm going the wrong way, I trust in sweet inspiration. When I'm out on the road in a bad situation, you know I just reach back in my mind, and there I find your sweet, sweet inspiration, inspiration. Oh, what a power. I got the power every hour of the day. I need your sweet inspiration to go on living, to keep on giving this way. I need your sweet inspiration, sweet inspiration, sweet inspiration, sweet inspiration, sweet, sweet inspiration, sweet, sweet inspiration, sweet, sweet, sweet inspiration. Thank you.
And so we bless these gifts with so much gratitude. that align with our mission and our ministry and go forth from our hearts to support this community and to support the city, the county, and for peace on earth and the work of unity worldwide. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, of course, a few announcements. So you know what next week is. It's Trunk or Treat. Does everyone know? So if you guys haven't seen Trunk or Treat, everyone's invited. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it kind of looks like this. We're going to pull our cars up in the parking lot. You open your trunk or your back of the car. You decorate it, which could mean whatever you want it to mean, some pumpkins or a skeleton, or we have something cool that Diane made, so we're excited. And then you bring some Trick or Treat candy, and we have put a lot of advertisements out. And then last year, some 150 kids showed up. And for parents with little kids, they don't want to take them out at night, so they take them to things like this, and they just come by and they go around the circle and we trunk or treat. So we're going to do that again this year. So some important things that go along with that is next week it's good to wear, if you'd like, you can wear your costume to service. And also bring your animals and you can dress them up in the parking lot afterwards. We'll bless the pets, dressed up or not, and then we'll have a trunk or treat. It's also a couple other things. Well, I love this weekend coming up. It's also going to be Dia de los Muertos celebration. And if you remember last year, we had, and thanks to Greg, we still have all your boxes you made. We are making a large sort of altar, if you will, and we want to put pictures and items that represents your ancestors or someone specific in your family who you want to lay on the altar and just to hold their memory on this Dia de los Muertos. For those who don't know it, it's I know it's kind of normal to me, but I realize for some people it's really mostly in Mexico, although in other parts of South America, and it's Day of the Dead. And it's a day in Mexico where you'll see people go down to a gravesite and throw a blanket down and have a big picnic. So we realized maybe, I kind of knew about it. I've been to Mexico a lot, and some of us know this. But for those who don't know it, as a very educational piece about Dia de los Muertos, we're going to show Friday night the movie Coco. It's a Pixar film. How many of you have seen Coco before? Oh, gosh, okay. How many want to see it again? Yeah, all right. So Janae got a new popcorn machine, brand new popcorn machine. So Friday night at 7, so eat dinner and come on out. We're going to have popcorn, and we're going to drop the screen, and we're going to show the movie Coco right here. And I'll give you an idea for Dia de los Muertos. So sometime between now and next Sunday, if you bring them next Sunday, bring them really early because we're going to have everything already set up. We're going to have the altar for Dia de los Muertos. And then also, as a kindness, we'd like to leave whatever things you bring for a week. And if anybody wants to come in through the week, probably mornings are best because, after about 11, the room's rented out a lot. But if you want to just come and sit with the altar, with the Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, with the whole altar that we'll have set up, we'll leave it up for a week. And then the following week, you can pick up pictures or whatever. So if you brought anything today, just please leave them with Janae. I've got my costume picked out. How about you guys? Yeah. I won't tell you. Also, for those of you who are in the whole Earth Care program, as you might know, we had the big knitted web that was up here for a while, and that's something that the Multi-Faith Network for Climate Justice has put together. It's not part of the Interfaith Coalition per se. It's its own thing for multi-faith people getting together, and they haven't had a meeting, or we haven't had a meeting in a long time because of COVID, but it's going to be a live meeting at the Unitarian Church tomorrow at 6:30. I'll be there. And for other people who are interested in, in the whole thing of spirituality and the climate issues, they have a really great speaker. I kind of watched some on the internet. He's a sort of a professor type here at WWU, and really astute and really beautiful stuff, in my humble opinion. So if you're interested, it's over at the, I guess they call it the Buff, right? Bellingham Unitarian Fellowship, Buff? Yes. Kind of a cool name. Okay, so there's going to be there. So that's the big thing, a big deal. So Friday night is Coco, and Sunday service is Dia de los Muertos, and then after the service is trunk or treat, and bring your animals. Okay, that's good. Or check your bulletin. Also, Helga is our chaplain today. So anybody who would like prayer after service, you'll be up here in the prayer room / Jonathan's room / cave. Yeah, well, you'll be up here. It's a little dark over the trees. Okay. Anything else? We good? Okay.
Just me.
Oh, Liz has some. Yeah.
I know that October has been very busy, but coming up in November is Thanksgiving. And we are returning to having our Thanksgiving lunch / dinner for those of us who do not have family or friends to spend the day with. We will be meeting here and we'll be making more announcements. There will be a sign-up sheet starting the first Sunday in November, because we're going to make it a potluck, but semi-organized potluck. So we need to know what you're going to be bringing specifically, not just a green vegetable. Which green vegetable? Because we don't want 6 servings from people of broccoli. You know, we love broccoli, but... So anyway, that's going to be coming up, and then there will also be a sign-up sheet if you're going to be attending, just so we know. And you'll be hearing more about this as the weeks progress. So thank you very much.
Okay, one more song. Please stand. And there's a little variation on the order of the verses. We'll do grace before we do peace. Back up for love. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let
Thank you. And please remain standing. As we come to the end of our service, we will say our prayer for protection, and we do include everyone, everywhere. Together, the light of God surrounds us, The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you again for being with us today. We wish you a very blessed week ahead, full of peace, love, and joy, and go Seahawks. Sorry about you Mariners fans, but oh well, they tried. Let's just hold hands in our rows, and we'll sing our song, I Choose Love.
1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present is what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us that can't be undone.